Okay, welcome back to another occult healing session. Hope you guys are doing well. We got another presentation, and I'm doing personal magnetism because all the things that individuals tend to come to me for are centered around personal magnetism. So we're going to get into what personal magnetism is, how to gain more personal magnetism, how to use personal magnetism, and also a couple other things. All right, again, it's going to be something that, a lot of these things might not be what you've heard before. Again, because I'm always telling you guys that everybody just regurgitates information. It's not what we're going to do here. So let's get into it. All right. So as you can see, we have some interesting photos here. I had to bring the tarot cards in here. All right. So what is personal magnetism? First of all, guys, this, as you can see right here, is the energy surrounding you, your aura field. Technically, this is what your personal magnetism really is. It's just the energy, the aura field around you. Now, as you can see, every being, everything on this planet has light surrounding it. So, for example, they say, all right, that basically, let's talk about the planets, right? How they say the only reason why the moon has light is because it's being reflected because from the sun. That doesn't make any sense. If you as a human being have light, you might not be able to see the light. Remember, I told you sight, from what you can see, is a very, very small spectrum in the light, in the so-called light spectrum. You can't see this light. Some people can, obviously. You can, through much practice and much training, you can train yourself to see other people's light. But this is a representation of your energy. I mean, in a simple term, it just means your energy surrounding your body, okay? And what are you naturally giving off? This is your frequency, guys. So for example, you can tell where your personal magnetism is at by how things outside of you react to your energy. For example, how do people react to your energy? See, a lot of us get stuck up in the ego and try to make ourselves feel better when things don't go our way because our personal magnetism isn't up to par. So for example, if you have a lot of people that dislike you, here's the thing, not everybody is going to like you. Okay? And some people that don't like you still want to be around you because they need you. But I'm talking about outright just giving you all this hatred. So many people all the time. That's because you have a lack of personal magnetism. You have a lack of energy here. Everybody has light, but the light is poor. You have poor light. All right? Poor light. That's what leads to, because again, when you step into a room, everybody can feel this energy. We might not be able to describe it verbally. We might not be able to notice it consciously, as far as the conscious mind, but we sense it. And something about your energy makes people want to go up or down. There is no in between here. I keep telling people all the time, life is constantly moving. There is no such thing as stationary. Life is a wave. It's always moving. It's going up and down like a roller coaster. That's how this thing moves. Everything is moving. So there's no such thing as, neutral. All right. There's no middle ground as far as when it comes to energy and movement, because it's always moving. So your energy either picks people up or it brings people down. Like I said, even if people dislike you, but if you have high magnetism, high energy, right? They'll still continue to be around you because they understand, even on a deeper level, that they need you. They need to be around you. Okay, that's because you're of use. You have value. Remember when I was talking about value, and I don't remember the last couple live streams. I'm always talking about value. What does value mean? All right, what makes you valuable to other people? So when you step into a room, what makes you valuable? That's what you should always be thinking. When you're trying to get a job, or you're trying to sell to customers, or you're out in the dating scene, your mind shouldn't be focused on what you want. If you're selling to customers, you got to give what the, give to the customer what the customers want. You know how they say the customer's always right? It's not about you. If you're trying to get a job, again, it's not about you. How can you benefit the company that you're trying to work for? Same thing in the dating scene. How can you benefit this person? The dating scene is just totally off because everybody steps in it with what they want. Okay? Anytime any person that's went on a Tinder profile or any other profile, online dating websites, right? The people with the most issues, right? You can single them out. Anybody that's on these websites, single these people out. The people with the most issues, personal issues, are the people that have a whole list of things that other people need to do for them in their biography, in their profile biography. They'll be like, you need to do this, you need to have this, you need to do that. Already. The biography is just for you to describe yourself. That's it. It's not a whole list. Again, it's showing you personal issues. Poor light. Those are some of the signals for poor light. So you think people disliking you, things not moving properly for you. Like you think about manifestation. So, all right, so let's look at this list up here. Right? We have influence. So, what is influence? And I don't mean just with people. Okay, I mean with everything. But let's start with people because it makes more sense because this is the reality that you live in. Okay? When you're able to persuade people. Now, don't get sentimental and think, "Oh, I'm not here to trick people," because again, everything is persuading. I can go back to the dating scene, I can go back to you trying to get a job, I can go back to you selling to customers. Everything is about persuasion. You're not trying to trick people necessarily, right? You're just showing people what they offer because what you offer because most people go off of surface value. So now you need to rely on something deeper within the self, right? Because obviously, for the most part, there's nothing you can do too much about surface value. For the most part, there's a lot of things you can do, but I'm just saying influence, which is this energy that makes people want to believe in you, that makes people want to move for you, that makes people want to be around you because they just sense something deeper within inside of you. Okay? They sense something. They sense an urgency around you. Again, this is that light. They can feel it. They might not be able to describe it, but they can feel it. Okay? So this equates also to your manifestation abilities. I know you probably never heard of this, right? Somebody connecting personal magnetism to manifestation. Well, it is connected, guys. If you don't have personal magnetism, light, energy, you cannot manifest. Because what are you doing when you manifest? You are influencing your reality, the energy around you. You are actually trying to control the energy around you to create change. Okay? Even people represent energy. Think about it. So that's why your light is dependent. Anybody that is one of my students for the magic coaching, I'm always talking about energy. This is what I mean. Energy, energy, energy. Also, remember, if you got an astrology reading with me and I told you your ruling element, and I told you how to cleanse your ruling element, here you go. This is helping your light. to cleanse your light. Okay. Also, this is what we would call power. You think about what power is. All right. The more influence and manifestation abilities you have, the more power you have. Think about when just think of somebody at the top of your head that you would consider powerful. Right. It could be anybody, good or bad. I mean, let's talk about, Adolf Hitler, right? You might be disgusted with his actions, but that was one powerful person. Why? Manifestation abilities and influence. He had a lot of that was probably his strongest point was influence. He had a lot of personal magnetism. Now you're probably saying because in the new age movement, we equate everything with positivity. So that means if you're spiritual, you're positive. Like you're always happy, you never want to get angry and stuff like that. That has nothing to do with this stuff. All right? I'm trying to tell you when I told you that new age movement is just Christianity all over again. That has nothing to do with that. This balance here, remember the last video I made about the chakras, right? Because if you want more of this, you're going to need to go up this. And this equates to what the magician stands for. Is this balance, right? You've went through all the motions, you become the master, the magician. Okay, the musician also. The magician, musician, it's the same thing but different words, but we got to go deeper. Because what is a musician? Somebody that plays an instrument and creates music, right? Well, this entire plane is an instrument. Okay? This entire plane is an instrument. Here are the tools right here. You have your earth element, you have your water element, you have your air element, and you have your fire element. For anybody new to this, the coin represents earth, or the pentacle represents earth. The cup represents water. The sword represents air, and the wand represents fire. This is your physical realm, your emotional realm, your mental realm, and your spiritual realm. Now, why would the master, musician or magician, either one you could say, why is he pointing up and down at the same time? Because he realized that he became the medium for energy. Remember in my last video about the crown chakra, I said that the crown was like a funnel, right? That's exactly why this infinity symbol is sitting up here. Because it's continuous. This energy, remember when I stated that your higher self is being funneled into your crown chakra? It will always be. Even when you change bodies, because I stated in the last video, I told you that you reincarnate through your bloodline. All right. So again, just, what I'm saying, influence. This is when you are influencing things in your reality, people in your reality, and also energy in your reality. That leads to manifestation abilities. Because if you're influencing energy, you can move the energy to where you want it to move to create things. You can create situations. You can create objects. You can move people into certain situations to create things for you. That is true power. That's all power is. Okay, and again, the same thing with control, because controlling energy, but also controlling oneself. Okay? You want more personal magnetism, you have to learn how to control thyself. Go watch that last video about the chakras. My last presentation about the chakras. All right, because I'm going to be doing a lot more presentations so you can actually get a visual, and I can, center on this information. Okay. Somebody that has a lot of personal magnetism has a lot of control of themselves. People that don't have a lot of personal magnetism, they can't control themselves. Think about people that are really, really disliked from a lot of individuals. They usually lack control. They always get upset all the time, everything. They're always triggered by things. They're always going from one thing to the next. They're just all over the place. That's not what this is about. This is mastery here. When you take apart these four elements, which basically essentially is this, okay? Now you can create change. Change within yourself, change within reality, because as within, so without. And as he's stating right here, as above, so below. So if you create the change inside, the change will be created outside. So all the people, they're always getting angry all the time because things are not going their way. People are not doing the things that they want them to do, and so on and so forth. That's because you don't have this, and you don't have this. Well, I should say it in line. You don't have so things are not going your way because you don't have this, and that's because you don't have this. Balance within yourself, within thyself. Because the whole thing about this is becoming comfortable with change. Because again, life is change. Life is constantly moving, guys. You got to remember that. Life is always moving. So you have to become comfortable with change. You have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the only way that you can grow. See? It's the only way that you can grow. Growth. People that have personal magnetism are constantly growing. They're constantly learning. They're constantly being challenged and overcoming things. We're going to get to that. Okay, so again, look at this magician card. Remember, in one of my videos, one of my other videos, I was talking about the magician was the alpha male, because he's a representation of the alpha male. Look at him. He's very controlled. He has control over the four elements, which the four elements are in thyself, which will help you, which will lead to you controlling the four elements out thyself. And I don't mean the actual elements saying like picking up water and moving water with your hands and moving fire and wind with your hands. That, guys, is a metaphor. So when you see in these movies and in these cartoons and stuff, like you think about the last airbender and firebenders and all kinds of stuff, metaphorical, because they're a representation of the elements within inside of you, the philosophy behind these things. Remember, the water element is your emotions. Okay? The fire element is your spiritual self. The air element is your thoughts, your mind. The earth element is your body. This is what this means, control over thyself, because technically that's the only thing you really, really, truly have control over is your own mind, your own body, your own emotions, your own spiritual self, spiritual awareness. These things do not own you. You own them. This is why this is number one. Because people are still, most people, the 99%, they're still falling victim to their own bodies. They're still falling victim to their own emotions. I told you, people that lack control don't have magnetism. Or, I mean, everybody has magnetism, right? But they don't have strong personal magnetism. This is what attracts things to you. This is the whole law of attraction thing when they say, you are what you attract. Yes. Because if you have poor light, you'll attract poor light. Okay, but like I was saying, with this lack of control of thyself, You see what I mean? And this goes both ways too, because I mean controlling yourself so you can get things done too, so you can be successful too. Because your mind can start running wild and start creating all this fear, and you don't want to move. Which I already told you, stagnation is how you do not grow, which you need growth. You need change. Power is very important. Power comes from this. This is power right here. So all the people saying, "Oh, never search for power." I mean, blah, blah, they don't understand these concepts. I'm helping you understand these concepts. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. How to gain more personal magnetism. You can already see it right here. We have sexual energy, we have purpose, we have love of self. So let's talk about sexual energy. Okay. What makes somebody, what makes somebody very vibrant and alive is the energy that they have. Remember, I told you sexuality, sexual energy, that is energy itself. So the more sexual energy you have, the more alive you are. The more passionate you are about things, the more passionate you are about moving. Remember, I told you that life is a dance. You think about sexual people, what I mean by sexual people that are comfortable with their own energy, with their own movement. They're just so comfortable with themselves and so comfortable in their own skin because they have so much energy to put out. They're movers and shakers. Again, people that have a lot of sexual energy are movers and shakers. And here's the funny thing is that you can gain more sexual energy. See, the thing is, because we've been raised in this religious society, we downplay sexual energy. Of course they would want you to downplay sexual energy because that's where power starts. Of course they would tell you all those things are sins and you should just stay in line and 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 take your sexuality away and become a nun and become celibate and just cut this whole part out of your life because you cut that part out of your life, you're not reaching the top. You're not a threat anymore. Okay? You're not a threat to. I told you the whole scheme here is for them to stay on top and to keep you on the bottom. Remember, I told you the life is supposed to change, and that seat at the top is supposed to change. So anybody that starts awakening, there's always in every generation, there's always that 1% that starts awakening. People that start coming out of people that start becoming more aware, more conscious. They start coming out of their own box with their boxed in thinking. This is when they start, this is when they're supposed to lead the nations. But we have these individuals that want to be greedy. They don't want to leave. That's why they don't want to mix with you. I told you reincarnate through your bloodline, so they don't want to mix with you. So they keep staying at the top. And of course, they want you to cut out your sexual energy. They want to say, you know what, that's just animalistic stuff. Don't touch that energy. Stay there. Stay celibate, matter of fact. Be scared of your energy. Be scared of your animalistic self. Because they call it the beast, right? Because it is the beast. You think about an animal, they call it a beast. So they make it scary for you. Stay away from that. Continue to be a good little human being. Go to work. You know, retire, and continue to work for us. What happens when you get in tune with your sexual energy? You start to become a rebel naturally. Okay? You start to become a rebel naturally. Think about people like Marilyn. I always like to use Cleopatra. Totally became one with her sexuality, her sexual energy, and started gaining power. Now, remember, look at this picture, guys. You see what's happening here, right? Just meditate on this. You might want to pause the video just to look at this. I want your subconscious mind to see this. I told you that this energy comes from down here, all the way down at the root, goes all the way up. This is when the beast meets with the higher self. I told you the higher self gets filtered through your crown chakra. Why do you think this picture looks like this? You might say, oh, well, there's two snakes here. Yeah, masculine and feminine. All right. Of course, some pictures depict that way, but it's just the duality, masculine and feminine. But again, this is your crown. Your higher self is all the way up here. Let's pretend it's all the way up here, and it gets filtered down to your crown chakra, meets here at the pineal gland. All right, the beast is down here. That's your sexual energy. Your main mission here, because this is your key to unlock yourself. You got to unlock this, this, and now you've unlocked yourself and you've become this guy here. Okay, so let me go back. All right, so the more that you unlock with these, the more personal magnetism you gain. Now remember, like I said, I described the chakras in my last video. Okay, I described the chakras in the last video. But sexual energy, period, again, you got to create movement. Of course, there's certain herbs that increase sexual energy. Now, of course, I got to say something for my men out there, because men lose a lot of energy because of ejaculation. So that's why in the Taoism, they created the technique called the in-ejaculation technique. All right, the in-ejaculation technique. Let me see. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to look up for that. And this is basically when a man has an orgasm without spilling the seed. So you can continue to develop your sexual energy. Instead of soon as you get up here, you come right back down. As soon as you get back up, you come right back down because of ejaculation. Now, I'm not saying that ejaculation is totally wrong. It's not. There's a reason why you do it. The problem is that we do it too much today. You know, men are totally addicted to ejaculation, and it's just totally depleting their energy. Every time you ejaculate, you kill yourself a little bit because it takes life in order to give life. Okay? So again, creating movement within your body, becoming more flexible. Okay? Becoming the more flexible you become, the more energy starts to move throughout your body. Remember, you're trying to get this. You're trying to get more of this light. You can't do it if there's all these blockages all up within your body. You need to become more flexible. You need to dance more. You need to move your hips. All right, so dancing becomes very important, and that's why in ancient cultures they would always put so much emphasis on dancing and moving. Also, I say these things all the time. Purpose creates more personal magnetism, because somebody that just loves life and loves what they're doing, you just can't help but be attracted to them. So here thing, we have the 4 pillars. I'm not going to pay attention to these things in here. What I'm paying attention, but this is a symbol. Whoever made this knows something about sacred geometry. So again, just look at this symbol. But here's the 4 pillars. Here's 4 things that I want you to pay attention to. For purpose, you love it. I'm always saying something that you love to do. The world needs it. So you love it, and you're giving service to somebody else. You're getting paid for it. Guys, in this community, we have such a big problem with receiving. The reason why is because we grew up in a Christian society. Of course, again, if these people that want to be on top, of course, they would only make you focused on giving. So we get used to asking things for free because so many people are, should give anyway, right? Again, money is very important. I don't know who put this in everybody's mind that if you're a spiritual person, then money is not important. Again, this is somebody that doesn't know what's going on here. Because money, stop getting caught up in the physical. Stop getting caught up in what you see. It's not about the paper money. It's about the exchange of energy. I mean, it's simple. Okay. And of course, this is the least important. You're great at it. Because obviously, if you love it, for the most part, you probably will become great at it. But again, individual that has high sexual energy, right, becomes just really attractive. And I don't mean necessarily sexually attractive. I'm just talking about attractive, period. You couple that with having a purpose, like you know what you want to do and you love what you do and you continuously do it every day, you're going to become even more attractive, more personal magnetism, which gives you more influence, manifestation, power, control, change, and growth. Well, hold up, we're not done though. I mean, I probably should have put love of self before this one, right? Because it should go sexual energy, love of self, then purpose. But either way, uh, then, so love of self, all right, appreciating yourself, which is perfection is imperfection. You're not here to be it, to be everything, guys. Everybody, we all, I know, because especially Americans, we live in, if you're from America, you live in America, we have this Superman complex where we want to do everything. We want to be everywhere at all times. Schizophrenic. Okay, you're totally lost in la la land. All right, because the real thing is that you need to find the things that you're good at and then couple that with the people that are good with at the things that you're bad at. The only way you can do that is by settling down this beast inside of you. I hate to call it the beast, but I mean, I always use the terms that most people equate to. I mean, they're comfortable with. They just know what that means. Here's the thing. Do you see her slaughtering the beast? Like the Christians tell you to? Do you see her putting the beast in a cage? Like the New Age movement tells you to do? Remember, metaphorical, guys. I want to speak to your third eye. Your third eye, again, is not a physical eye. So I know there's a lot of people wanting to open their third eye so they can see physical things. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about metaphors. You can see the metaphor. You can see what I'm talking about. So, like I said, do you see her slaughtering this lion like the Christians want you to do? Do you see her putting this lion in a cage like the New Age movement wants you to do? No. You see her getting very, very comfortable with the lion. You see her basically becoming one with the lion. She accepts the beast and she cradles the beast. She's actually taming the beast. You see, this is actually how you tame something. You don't force it. I know in our masculine society, we always want to force something. This is why a woman had to be here and do this. Because that's real strength. Strength comes from your feminine side. Okay, you probably thought that strength comes from your masculine side. No. That's why this card is right here. Infinity sign above the head. All right, I'll just let you meditate on that, but you understand what I'm saying? So, this is what it means to love yourself. You become comfortable. This is that part that you're scared of yourself. This is the part you're always running away from. You're always running away from your shadow self or the beast, or you're always condemning this part of yourself. You're always at battle with this part of yourself. That's why you can never reach true love with yourself, because you're always fighting this. This is a lesson right here. Look at it. Look at it. Here's your lesson. I don't even need to explain anymore. Okay. All right. So, probably wondering how to use personal magnetism. All right. So, first, of course, once you're gaining this energy right here, you're becoming, more one with yourself. You're mastering the elements, which is yourself. Remember, just a reminder, uh your body, your emotions, your mind, and your spiritual energy. You're starting to master this. Well, what can you do with it? Remember when I told you about influence and energy? This is what magic and rituals is for. Is to focus your mind, okay? Focusing your mind so you can start, manipulating the energy around you. So when you do certain rituals, that's exactly what you're doing. That's it. Now remember, it's nothing spooky about this because we do this all the time. Everybody's always constantly trying to um, change the energy around them and the energy around other people. Everybody's doing this all the time. It's just they're just not doing it well. Real successful people are doing it well, but most people are not doing it well, and that's why we do these rituals and to focus the mind so we can start really tapping into this energy. All right. Also, connection with others. This is really equates to the influence. All right. You have to use it. See, most people, again, with this whole thing about being sheltered and being behind closed doors all the time, you're not going to affect reality if you're not in reality. If you're not out in the world, if you're not out with the people, doesn't matter what kind of people, stop being scared. Get out there and start shaking hands and hugging people and having conversations with people and using your energy. That's the only way you can get better at this. If stop being scared. Stop being scared to go certain places. You claim to be a god or a goddess. What are you scared of? The fear is coming from that religious aspect. I tell you guys all the time, if you were born in a religious society, which most likely all these places are, you inherited the fear of things that are not real. Okay. You can also use this on plants and animals. You can use your energy to change, to affect, I should say, plants and animals. Anybody that has a garden, well, if you do have a garden, you should understand this concept. But if let's just say, all right, let's just say you're taking care of plants. If you're using your energy, which is basically envisioning, well, actually, you don't even have to envision because again, this is just emanating off of you. You just being around, if you have a high magnetism, if you have high energy, and you just being around certain plants, they will grow. They will bear more fruit. Same thing with animals. They'll be attracted to you more. Okay, you can use these things to influence. You can use your own energy to influence these things. Animals and plants. Same thing with crystals and stones. People talk about using crystals and stones, right? And charging their crystals and all that. You can't do that with sufficient energy. I mean, without sufficient energy. That's why things don't work for you. All right. But here's the thing, if you do have the energy, now you can put your energy into objects such as crystals and stones, and you can program them. Now, what do I mean by program is you let's just say you're holding a crystal in your hand, right? And you're speaking a mission into the into the crystal or stone. Now, of course, you got to understand the crystal or stone and what it's really what it's really used for. But then you speak its mission into the stone. Again, if you haven't heard this, this might sound crazy, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of programming your crystals. If you don't know about programming your crystals, just do a little Google search and research and learn about it. But that's, again, this takes personal magnetism though. So sun gazing and moon gazing. This might be a little interesting because yes, when you sun gaze and moon gaze, you're taking energy from the sun and the moon, right? Well, when you start becoming a master of the elements, you start becoming the magician or the musician, you understand that you have to give an exchange with these entities to really make change in your reality. Remember, think about anything that we do here, it's an equal exchange. So that means you start sending energy to the sun, you start sending energy to the moon while you're sun gazing and moon gazing. It becomes a dance, it becomes a contract. Now things are moving more with you. Now mystical things are happening to you in your reality. This is something that you could just try yourself. You don't have to believe me, right? Anybody that's skeptical out there, take a few weeks to start sun gazing and moon gazing and envision yourself while you're sun gazing or moon gazing, envision yourself sending energy to the sun or the moon, depending on what you're doing at that time period. I guarantee you some mystical things are going to start happening to you. I guarantee you some miracles are going to start happening to you. I guarantee you that you're going to notice your personal magnetism is on fire. I'm telling you. Like I said, don't believe me, just try it. That's something that's easily that you can try. Sending thoughts and sending energy. I mean, this is what I was saying with the moon, but remember, sending thoughts, like I said, same thing with plants and animals and also people. We already do this on a low level. This is why, like, they you hear the concept of you thinking of somebody and all of a sudden they call you. Well, when you have personal magnetism, you can start controlling that. And you can send thoughts and send energy to people. This is how people become healers as well, because they're able to send energy. So you think of somebody that knows Reiki, which most people really don't. FYI, guys, you can't go to a school for a week and learn and become a master Reiki individual. That's not how this thing works. All right. It takes years and years and years and years to learn Reiki for real, for real. Again, the New Age movement has made this sacred art a joke. They've made astrology a joke. They've made numerology a joke. They've made tarot cards a joke. They've made such a beautiful art as um they just made everything a joke. All right, it's just a shame that they made Reiki, which is something that really can heal people, a joke. You can't learn these. People talk about getting a certificate in Reiki. That's automatic fraud. I hope nobody listening has bought a course and got a certificate in Reiki because you wasted your money. All right. It takes, I would say, at least like 8 to 10 years to become to be able to do Reiki on properly. All right. Very rare that somebody can do that. But like I'm saying, that you can do this on a low level with personal magnetism, though. And of course, contacting higher forces. Okay. So the people that want to get in contact with deities or even your ancestors, when you have more personal magnetism, which is really, again, energy, because you've controlled these energy centers, you became a master, you started controlling yourself. Now you can start sending your energy higher. You can start projecting yourself to higher forces, to get in contact with higher forces. How do you think in certain individuals within ancient tribes, they would have one individual contacting people on the other side? That was an individual that had a lot of this. which is really just aura field energy. Again, I'm just putting it all together for you guys. Okay. So, so what's the catch? All right, because obviously there's always going to be some kind of catch. All right. So the first catch, things must leave for things to come. Now let me explain this. In order for you to attract, or let's just say, when you are attracting something big and you're bringing all these things to you, right? Just know that the things that are around you and the people that are around you, some of them might have to go. Some of those things might have to leave. Things start to crumble around you because you need room for energy. Your energy can't be everywhere at all at one time because, again, it's just not how it works. So you're going to need to make room. Your own subconscious mind will do this by itself. Remember, the subconscious mind runs by itself. It doesn't need your consciousness. Your heartbeat beats on its own. Your blood flow flows on its own. They don't need your permission. So it's the same thing here. In your reality, the things that have to go, they just up and leave because you need to make room for bigger things. The reason why can be considered a catch is because you might not see it as a positive thing right away. You might be like, you might have been in a marriage for 10 years and you start getting into this stuff. You start learning about energy and you start attracting big things, and all of a sudden you get a divorce because the relationship was probably toxic, and you need to make room for something bigger and better. And it might not be another human being. Who knows what it could be? But you understand the concept. Roadblocks. All right. When you get to the next level, it's just like a video game, right? The first level is easy. Then you get to the next level, it's harder. So again, this is why people don't like going up this ladder. Again, I explained that in the chakra presentation last video. And I was saying people don't like going up the ladder because they start becoming uncomfortable. They start going through many challenges because things get harder. So they want to stay all the way down at the root chakra and just do things to survive. Well, everybody listening right now, that's not what you're here to do. Because if you're listening to this right now, that means you're awakening and you got to start leading the nations. We got to get our acts together. All right, it's time to stop crying. It's time to stop. It's time to get focused. With great power comes great responsibility. You're awakening for a reason. You're not here to play small and to run away and to sit and be comfortable all day. You're going to go through many roadblocks. But again, if you are mastering yourself, you're going to overcome these roadblocks easily. Okay, just keep it moving. Intense movement. Here's another thing. Now, what I mean by the intense movement is that, life just starts moving really fast. When they say this all the time with success, they say, yo, once you start becoming successful, things just start moving really quickly. It's like almost like you can't even keep up with your mind. Like just one thing after another just starts coming. Again, when you start getting good with this energy thing, you start getting good with manifestation, things just start coming. You can't even believe it, how fast it's moving. It's really hard to get to that first step, right? We do all this just to get to that first step. But then once you get there, you got to be ready to take that roller coaster ride because it's going to move fast. Trust me, all of a sudden things are just going to be popping up left and right. You're going to be like, oh my God. You got to be ready for that intense movement. Okay. Another thing is intention. Now, here's the funny thing, right? You would not think this would be a catch because you're like, everybody wants attention, right? That's what most people think they want. Here's the thing about most people. They are scared of attention. They're scared to be singled out. They're scared to stand out. Most likely your parents, beat this into your head for you not to stand out. When you're a little kid and you're in the grocery store and you're making noise and stuff, and mom and your dad is like, be quiet. Stop. You got everybody looking at us. And you start learning early, never be the center of attention. Here's the thing. Personal magnetism, you start becoming a very, very attractive, and you might start causing jealousy too because you're so attractive to so many people. You're going to start getting so much attention. This is how you can tell a high vibrational person. And I don't mean if the attention is negative or positive, guys. Like I said, we have to get out of this concept that when you start learning spiritual principles, like you're some kind of Jesus character. Like that's why when somebody gets exposed online or something like that because they're a spiritual person, you find out some dirt they were doing in their personal lives, you're always going to find that. Everybody has dirt that you can find, all right? Because that's not what spirituality doesn't turn you into a Jesus character. That's fictional. All right? That's fictional. There's always going to be darkness to light. If there's light, there's going to be darkness. Get that through your head. Okay? So nobody is perfect. Nobody doesn't have darkness. It's not just one person that's all light and he's super positive. He never does anything wrong and he never hurts anybody's feelings or anything. That's not reality, guys. I'll tell you what is reality, that most people run from this right here. Most people run from attention. You see? Most people run from that. You gotta have some real confidence in order to get all that attention. You gotta have confidence. So you better, but again, once you've been mastering yourself, trust me, you will gain that confidence. And then of course, change. Like I said before, that's something I already stated. Things are going to change around your reality. Your environment might change quickly. Your relationships might change quickly. You have to become comfortable with that. You have to stop being scared of change. Nothing is meant to be the same all the time, including generations. Stop talking about what the last generation was before social media. All right? We're not in that age anymore. Stop. Don't talk about what was happening in the 50s and maybe I was belonged in the 1800s. Again, you're not there for a reason. You're here for a reason. So it's time to get used to it. Okay? All right. So I got a couple resources because remember I said how to gain personal magnetism, sexual energy, purpose, and love of self. So just a few books. The Alchemy of Sexual Energy. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce uh, this name. You guys know I'm horrible at pronunciation. The Passion Test. All right. Well, oh yeah, this is gonna help you with sexual energy, right? The Passion Test is gonna help you with understanding your purpose. Now, again, these are some light-hearted books that I threw together. This is not no serious stuff like I gave in the last um presentation with the chakras, but they're still useful. You know what I mean? So, sexual energy, finding your purpose, a book to help you find your purpose. And this is just, I love this book. This is just so funny. You Are a Badass, right? I know a lot of you guys probably heard about this book. This is just a light-hearted book to teach you self-love. Okay? So again, these are the keys right here to personal magnetism, sexual energy, purpose, love of self. You gain these things, okay? And you start controlling yourself, which is controlling your body. Remember, these are only things that you really control is yourself, your body, your emotions, your mind, and your spirit. You have these, you can start doing anything in this world. You can start changing the energy around you. Or you won't be unhappy with the world because you're creating the world. You are a creator now. You're no longer a consumer. Remember, I told you guys before that they trained you to just be a consumer. Because then you'll work these low-end jobs, these jobs that you hate, just to consume more. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm too good for this, I'm going to start creating now. All right. So hopefully that helped you out, guys. It's very, very powerful. Like I said, meditate on this. This is why it's so important to study the tarot cards and to get these tarot card readings. Again, if you're interested in tarot card readings, remember occulthealing22@gmail.com. The email's in the description of this video, along with any of my other services, astrology readings, numerology readings, so on and so forth. If you're interested in my services, send me an email. The email's in the description of this video. Other than that, keep that energy high. Even though we're in quarantine, you should be working and working on your purpose on this moment, in this moment, and getting ready to change the world for when we are able to really move again, really do things. This is the time. This is your time to build. So when you're able to move again, you go out there running and you make these changes and you rise, because like I said, during every crisis, the ones that are awakening are supposed to be rising at this moment. So we got to start doing things and changing our reality. All right. So I'll leave you in Ashe, Namaste, and of course, all around the world, with all the people, there's only one love. All right. One love.